Today, I will tell you what will be the next meme coin meta and how to position yourself before it. Because if you're buying the things when everyone is talking about, you're not making money. There is no upside in them. You need to be positioned before. I was correct with BTC movement on all-time high in October. I was correct with all-time high 5th, 6th of November. I was correct with election coins meta that definitely happened. And I'm telling you what will be happening next. And today we're also talking about Ethereum. And I will be providing you with top 7 low cap meme coin plays around Ethereum pumpage out there. Without further ado, let's start. We definitely do have some bullish notes on the marketplace regarding Ethereum, which are connected with the fact that Ethereum BTC chart had a pumpage, Ethereum had a pumpage, and it seems like it's coming back from the dead. You might not see it now, but with Bitcoin making this move, Ethereum is preordaining itself for at least $6,000. Why? One phrase: crypto portfolio diversification. As retail interest in crypto spikes, there is literally only one other crypto ETF for Wall Street to sell to people: Ethereum. It's literally that simple. Yeah, a very, very interesting take, and usually simple takes are the most genius and right ones as well. I do think that it's honestly a very nice trade, because a very nice take, because over time people will understand that essentially upside in BTC is lowering, and Ethereum, they already see that, like, it went up to $900, it's already at like $2,800. In stock market, to get these type of returns, you need to wait for 5 years. This happened in the last 3 to 4 months. I will watch Ethereum BTC here. This is the main bear. Benjamin Coven is the main bear on Ethereum BTC chart, and he's saying if it can get above the 50 days May, then there is a good chance that Ethereum BTC has bottomed. We are receiving the confirmation if you go above this level, and then essentially we have bottomed. And then if you're bottomed, there is only one way. The way is up. Right? People who got COVID vaccine were telling you Kamala was gonna win. Lol, you can likely fade these people on any decision for the rest of the time. Actually, guys, I wanted to ask, did you get a COVID vaccine? I did not. I got fake docs that I got a Chinese one, and I was traveling all over the world without any issues. So this is something I actually wanted to share as well. Chad allocation. This is a very interesting one. I've seen this in one of the channels I'm in. Top holdings November 2024, meme coins 93%. Crazy to think about that, but this is quite similar to what I have as well. And I think this is a winning strategy, to be honest, because it's still not a consensus. It's still not a consensus in the marketplace. Some altcoin holders, they start to add meme coins in the portfolio, but there is quite a low amount of people that, like, in general, in comparison to all of the capital in crypto, that are 100% in meme coins out there currently. This is 100% a winning strategy at this stage. Market is going sideways 80% of the time, and we have this cute crab right here. So we'll talk about this one as well. And something I wanted to focus in connection to my yesterday video as well. The USA will be purchasing 1 million Bitcoins over the next 5 years. You have to raise your targets. Even the top world governments are. Front run this. Generational opportunities are all around. Unbelievably bullish. It makes me a little bit nervous. I will share my thoughts from one point of view. When we were growing in the last year, exactly around this time, from October till January, I was feeling nervous as well. Even on one of my Russian-speaking interviews, I said that it's nice that I'm feeling nervous and I'm feeling stressed about this pump, because it probably means that we will continue to pump. Because probably a lot of people essentially are feeling this thing. They're taking profits prematurely, and essentially this is one of the great reasons, because the max pain in these type of situations is up. At the same time, this type of positive news, where you actually see them on the chart, do you know where you actually see them? You often see them in this area, which is called liquidity creation, when whales and market manipulators are essentially creating liquidity to exit. Because they hold large positions of the assets that they're buying up here. They're buying on the way up because their holdings are large, and then they're selling on the way down, and they need multiple months of liquidity creation out there. This is obviously the situation overall on the marketplace. Although I do think the pumpage should continue, kind of have this crazy target of $88,000 per BTC out there, right? But the main thing I still care about is meme coins, right? And meme coin cycle is a little bit different in comparison to the whole market cycle, because as you remember, meme coins on Solana started to pump heavily at the end of September, start of October, despite the fact that the market was not that bullish at the time, right? So the meme coin cycle is a bit different. Right now, I'm seeing most upside in Ethereum meme coins, and just this Ethereum narrative, just the narrative of ETH BTC breaking out a little bit, Just Pepe is, by the way, doing very well at this stage, right? If you can check out the chart of Pepe, it's sustaining the pump. Like it looks crazy good currently, right? And just this small surge up of Ethereum, it will probably continue because Ethereum is an asset that is usually lagging after BTC, but it always catching up after Bitcoin. And if you would check out on TradingView, we are actually in a crazy discorrelation currently in between Ethereum and BTC out there, right? Why it doesn't work? Why it doesn't work? Why it doesn't work? Why it doesn't work? Yeah, so just compare this thing. Do you know where Bitcoin is in comparison to this chart? Bitcoin is somewhere here. So what is the size of the movement? We have to make 50% movement at least on Ethereum. It will send like meme coins on ETH crazy. It will send altcoins. Like we will definitely have certain alts in connection with this thing. Solana people are already talking about Ethereum. They're already looking to position themselves in Ethereum. At the same time, people are starting to go crazy around layer 2s and saying that layer 2s should be showing something. We had just the small pumpage. They're definitely even lagging in comparison to Ethereum, but that just means that the upside is larger, right there. Blast looks crazy good at this stage. I don't think this is the actual chart. I think this is just some of the exchange. It's not probably the proper chart out there, but this looks crazy good at this stage currently as well. Essentially for the setup for along out there, along with Endion Blast essentially as well. But we'll talk about this thing out there. So a very interesting situation we are in currently. A very interesting one. Meme coins as usual, they would be like the best proxies to catch the move of Ethereum. And today I'm exactly talking about low cap meme coins on Ethereum and Ethereum layer 2s that you might want to get into. Something I would like to start with is Bobo. Bobo is at $71 million market cap at this stage. Kind of pumped, kind of corrected after the pump, probably should be continuing. I want to focus on Bobo better place currently because I think what you have to understand is that you have these mid-cap assets, right? And they're nice if you are entering like with, not even with 50k, like if you would be entering with 50k into Bobo, well, kind of nice, like over time you would maybe get like 5 to 10x, but it will probably be most of the gains all over the cycle, right? DGN, for example, is entering ticker Bitcoin currently, and he's entering with $500,000 at this stage, planning to make 10 million. 20x can be happening, like 2.5 billion, despite the fact this asset is very heavy. It has a bunch of liquidity. So in comparison, if someone is entering with 500k into ticker Bitcoin at this stage, you should be entering Bobo with at least $150,000 to kind of feel the move. If you essentially planning to enter with this size, should be right with this type of mid caps. But what I wanted to share as well is that the bulk of the move will be happening on the coins that have low market cap currently, because like the main outperformance, the main performance percentage wise will be coming from them. Something like Joe did 15x's from the bottoms, like at $3 million, at 5, at 4, at $5 million, you can be entering in huge, like in nice amounts as well, like 10, 20, 30, 50k, and essentially receive this move up and take profits on the way up as well. So the main thing that I would like to share, that I'm sharing, is that lower caps will essentially be receiving larger pumps during this time of Ethereum pumping up. Therefore, it makes sense to be positioned in them. And there are a range of lower caps that are good, that actually have nice upside into them, because a lot of them are essentially better placed to larger assets, so they're kind of safe. Like they won't run to infinity because people will always have this like benchmark of a larger tier 1 asset, and that's why like they won't be reaching the market cap of this asset, right? But at the same time, they're quite safe from this point of view. So one of the other reasons that Joe pumped already currently is because it's appreciated by Solana people, and Solana kind of started its meme season a bit sooner and people got money sooner, so that's why they were able to pump this thing. But it seems like it's time for other things to pump currently, like Bobo and some other assets on the marketplace as well. So something I would like to start with, first coin in the list, is essentially Sneebo. Sneebo is at $2 million market cap currently at this stage. And did you actually know that 80% of the time any chart in stocks and crypto is actually going sideways 80% of the time? This is crazy if you think about that. So crap is the most present market meme on the market. 80% of the time is a sideways movement. The other reason why I'm showing this thing is because the chart is kind of beautiful on this stage. We had pump, we had dump, and we had loan consolidation. And it seems like we should be breaking out this consolidation soon. It's forming the same type of parabola as range of assets that had the breakoutage already. And I will show you today several assets that I was showing you from time to time on this channel as well that had the breakout as well. I was consistently sharing them, and they're printing the same chart. So I do think that like current entry point is quite nice, because you're pretty much buying at the end of consolidation. It seems like we might have some bullish events coming to the ecosystem as well. It's obviously a bobo beta play, so it's kind of like a pepe beta play out there as well. Other thing we have is Mumu on Ethereum as well. So here you're kind of buying a bit higher in comparison to the situation on Snibu. Snibu is probably somewhere here, right? But this is kind of a bull token on the bull market as well, so it might be doing well. And liquidity market cap ratio is a bit different, so if you were buying early, you will probably be receiving a large amount of access, because the all-time high for this thing is $35 million at the 2nd of April, right? It's also a CTO project, so should be doing quite nice. It's also like from these 4chan essentially Pepeverse out there. You have something like Dodo as well, which is a cable launch, which launched already in the bull market. It was not present in the bear market. But essentially it's the same chart, right? And we kind of had this breakout, a small breakout in connection with the breakout of Ethereum, also should be doing quite well. Maybe these things will be pumping a bit later in the process, because they would probably need Bobo to pump, and Bobo usually is pumping the last, and often they correlate with the pump on Bobo, right? But these are good long-term Ethereum memes that are essentially market memes, and they should be catching a bit over time as well. Second thing I wanted to share is Gondola. Unfortunately, it's not the best entry point currently in Gondola, because the best was here at around like 3.2, 3.5, pretty much like in the recent dip, before the election dip, when everything was essentially bearish on the marketplace, right? So this thing is breaking out. In comparison to the chart of Snibu and others, Snibu, for example, is somewhere here currently. It definitely had the first run up. It created a new all-time high. Main reason for this is because Gondola is actually Apple beta play, and arguably is the only Apple beta play present on the marketplace. It's an OG 4chan meme. It's kind of like funny by itself. Like Gondola is just observing out there. So yeah, it's quite interesting. So and kind of the benefit point that it has in comparison to others is that it's actually like younger meme, and usually meme coins, they have their certain lifetime span out there, right? So with this one it's a bit hard. What if this pump is just a correction to this pump, right? And what if from here we just are going down and we'll just consolidate around this level? In this case, you won't be able to catch the upside, and you won't be able to catch the move on Ethereum, right? And other things like Snibu and others essentially would be better, because Snibu is yet to make this movement out there. 100% it should be making this movement. Interestingly, I was sharing Elon as before the election play. I was sharing it at $7 million, and it went up to 14 recently, so it's essentially 2x at this stage. I think it have the option to continue, not despite all the news on the marketplace, just following the charts. You can compare it to the charts of Gondola that I essentially just shared with you, and yeah, it should be pumping, it should be setting new all-time high, and from there it should be probably like correcting back to this level and consolidate maybe a little bit below this level, right? So this would be longer cook. This is essentially larger market cap. This is $11 million market cap. At the same time, it should be a little bit more stable. One other thing that I wanted to share as a low cap OG meme coin on Ethereum is CAC, which also kind of a newer one, as it was created in May, so kind of similar to Gondola as well. It had its pump already, so you can see you were able to buy it at the absolute bottom in September, in August, right? Crazy if you think about that. And since then we set an all-time high. So this chart, it is looking more like Gondola, right? So it did have a breakout already. So you can vividly see that I'm showing you currently that memes like Snibu, they did not have the breakout yet, for example, and Gondola and CAC, they had the breakout already, so the upside is limited in comparison to others. Obviously you're getting the safety because you understand that it is pumped already, and probably it will have demand moving further, probably has a bit more active communities out there, but for safety, as usual, you are paying with your profits. And if you're taking more risks, you have the option to essentially make more money. But with Snibu and others that I shared, especially Snibu, I think it's at the bottom currently, so you are kind of safe from this point of view, right? Coming back to Andy on Blast, several words I would like to share as well. $4.6 million market cap at this stage. Crazy if you think about that, because we are essentially lower than the capitulation week in June 24. So like the entry point that the US essentially have currently is the capitulation week on June 21st and March 21st. It's interesting, it's like the same date, right? March 21st and June 21st. Interesting. So again, why do I love this chart? We had our pumpage, we had our dumpage, we are in the midst of consolidation currently. You want to be buying assets in the consolidation. Narrative here is quite simple. Narrative here is that Ethereum will be pumping and layer 2s will be pumping. That's why after I'm talking about Andy on Blast, I will be talking about Base. I do think there are some other layer 2s that are worth looking at. Essentially free money with the meme coins out there currently. I shared them in my private Discord just today. So we are in the midst of consolidation currently. You want to be buying assets during consolidation. You want to be buying assets at the bottom of the consolidation range currently. We are exactly at the bottom of the consolidation range at this stage. You might think, oh, like it's dead, nothing is happening. Nah, Blast is looking very, very nice. And one of the narratives, because market is being pumping these narratives that US is buying like 1 million Bitcoins and things like that. But I do think that essentially the real narrative crypto-wise for additional liquidity inflows, because like I really was thinking hard today and yesterday, what would be the next narrative to pump the markets? Like what would be the narrative for the thing to go higher, for the thing to go up? And the main narrative, one of the main narratives out there is TGE season. I was speaking with some people in this space a couple months back that are able to get a lot of essentially deals in terms of allocation wise for different projects. And there was a boom of essentially people investing in seed rounds and different rounds of projects back in March. Like crazy amounts of capital were locked. And I invested in some of the projects myself as well. And the interesting thing is that some of them, they were saying, yeah, we'll have our TG in March and April. Then market went to shit. And they essentially moved the dates because they don't want to have this thing where they're essentially launching the project and everyone just sells because market is shit. So they were waiting for the market conditions to come back. We should have better market conditions closer to the end of the year and start of next one. I'm essentially thinking about December and December and January of 2025. Which should be crazy from TG point of view. And all these TGs, what they will be doing? They will be injecting free liquidity into the market. Not only in Blast, because Blast has a bunch of rich projects because they were able to gather developer fees, because 100% of fees of dApps on Blast are coming back to developers in general in the market. That's why I'm saying that it will probably be the narrative to kind of continue the pump on the market. Like currently we might be pumping because of like Trump and things like that. It's like more freedom on the market. And like this news of 100 million Bitcoins and things like that, 1 million Bitcoins, right? And probably the second wave of this pump and the next wave of this pump to continue the pump, because they need certain essentially time frame for pumpage to be able to take profits on the assets, because they cannot take profits on the assets in short time frame, right? They need to create this liquidity creation zone that makes sense and that will be lasting for quite some time, right? So I would say that the second part of this pumpage will actually be this narrative of TGs in the marketplace. The same thing that happened on Solana, that essentially kickstarted the meme season on Solana and kickstarted all the things with Bonk that happened out there. The same thing will be happening in the whole crypto market. We are due a bunch of TGs out there, which would result in a bunch of people essentially receiving a lot of free capital from the market. Some of the TGs, they will actually not be sold like into zero right away. They will get bought up. It will essentially create new liquidity in the market that probably we will be spent in the meme coin space out there, right? So this thing is consolidating. This thing is looking beautifully. This thing is following the default accumulation chart, right? Might take a little bit more time, although with the whole market reversal, and it's kind of like very similar to the chart of bread with this part as well, and to the chart of the range assets that are, and to the chart of a range of assets that were accumulating and consolidating before the breakout. Which I would be showing this in a separate video, I think. So this is also a bet on Ethereum season, right? And yeah, Norm is just crazy, 10.8 million at this stage. I was sharing this at 3 to 4 million. So two things on base that I was sharing in my private Discord were Normie and Okayek. And both of them are surging up nicely currently at this stage, right? They're kind of breaking out from the bottoms that they formed after the election. And to me, it might be the kickoff of another leg up essentially, because as you can see, the floor here is higher than the floor here. Therefore, like it's suddenly like part of the accumulation as well. It was the first pump. People sold under the first pump. So they took profits on the amounts that they had here. But it should be very, very nice because basically based on the formula, they will probably be re-entering. And everyone here has a larger entry point, which means that they will be holding the assets for more as well. So the chart looks primed on this thing as well. Normally, I do like as a meme coin out there, but in general, like any base meme coin with this type of chart should be doing quite well, right? So same kind of thing is happening here. They're just starting, they're just kicking off their pumpage currently, right? And this is a very, very important thing to understand and see, because already with Ethereum Thieves, like they're kind of growing over time, and they will be growing over time as well. I would say that currently we're still in the accumulation stage for these base meme coin assets, but soon, I would say quite soon, things will go south, which means that they will essentially start to pump there as well. So Brad kind of tries to exit the accumulation here and tries to pump here as well. Obviously, base meme coin season will probably be started with Brad pumpage out there as well. So one of the low caps that I just bought on base, this is a really like a low cap, a coin, a meme coin out there. The reason I bought it is because essentially this is an SPX derivative play, and I would say in terms of the derivatives for SPX, I think coin on base makes the most sense because they have coin stock. Coinbase is a company, and this thing kind of like the goal is to flip the coin stock. So it's kind of funny and interesting from this point of view. Although the issue is that SPX beta meme plays meta is kind of dying out at this stage. I kind of have this feeling that a range of plays that already worked out, they played out in SPX beta meme plays. And I do believe that less and less capital will essentially be going into the beta play. So I wanted to warn you here in terms of this one. Base also has a coin named Coin, which is specifically like a coin about the meme stock out there. So it's kind of like the coin that I just shared, which is lower market cap, might be a better play to this one, because this pumped and that one pumped as well, right? It's quite funny, but that one is essentially SPX meta and this one is essentially stock meta. So these are two different metas, and SPX meta I would say is a bit more alive, although it might be dying out. Will we see a rotation from profits or from SPX meta to lower caps? We'll see, because in current PvP type of scenario of the market, essentially the things that are happening is that people are, when they're taking profits from the majors, they're not repositioning in the beta plays, because this is something that usually is happening in the PvE scenario of the market and the more retail part of the market. What is happening, they're repositioning into the alpha place of the next meta. So they're essentially playing it differently out there. But I do like the charts of these things. So yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same chart. And from my point of view, it should be breaking out. Eventually it should be breaking out, just because of the fact we do have some bullish things happening for Ethereum out there as well. So yeah, it's our standard pattern out there. Will be breaking out? We'll essentially see, right? I think it might be. This is the overview at this stage for the Ethereum coins to pump up. We also do have, we kind of expect Solana to go into like to all-time high and to go to price discovery as well. And we had a very, very nice dumpage on BTC dominance yesterday. So this week is quite nice. If you would think about that, if you would essentially see that, we received this dumpage on BTC dominance. And this essentially means that people are selling their Bitcoin and buying into altcoins and buying into meme coins out there. And this is a great sign, because we need this thing to dump further for essentially alt season to be able to start. And it's kind of like people are selling BTC into Ethereum at this stage, right? Because yeah, ETH BTC is definitely, so it's kind of like BTC dominance reversed is ETH BTC chart, which is exactly like, it's quite similar, right? From this point of view. We can also check out total 3, which kind of had the break outage right here. So we tried it It's like, yeah, we are definitely in the uptrend. The chart reminds me of the chart of the OG bread on Ethereum, kind of the chart of selfie as well before the pump. It's just upward accumulation. It definitely looks very, very similar to the chart of selfie because before the breakout, right? So slowly, initially it goes slowly higher, and then the angle of the parabola increases, and then it's just breaking out higher. So this is something I'm expecting from Total 3 as well, because in general we should be seeing these things catching up with BTC. And if you would remember, the main narrative in March and April was essentially to see that Total 3 will be catching up to all-time high. We can still compare these things happening, right? So BTC is above all-time high, and we can see what is happening with Total 3 right here. Even in March, Total 3 was still 40% away. And I was the one who was saying that that's why the market essentially should continue, because Total 3 should be catching up with Bitcoin. It seems like Benjamin Cohen was right on this one, but currently he's also calling for the bottom of Ethereum BTC, which means that this might be the time. The Total 3, we will be catching up with BTC, which means that it will go back to the all-time highs and essentially enter the price discovery and go even higher right after, which means that currently is the generational opportunity to enter good assets that you will be able to hold long term. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Stay healthy and rich.